Sorry, I'm too busy to do the show. I'm listening to Kirk Cameron, the star of Growing Pains, with Alan Thicke. He's a religious guy now. He became religious, and he put out a series of messages on how we're being brainwashed. And who is he to do that again? He was on a Growing Pains?
That's it.
He became religious. Listen to this kid. Remember the show Growing Pains with Alan Thicke?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. As long as you remember that.
I remember it. It was a hit. You know, it was like,
He's now very into religion.
Right.
Are you concerned about what's happening to our country?
Yes.
One by one, we're being stripped of our God-given liberties. Our kids can no longer pray in public.
Is that true? And why do your kids need to pray in public? Where can't they pray in public?
I'll find the kid to say the act of contrition on the corner of 37th and 5th right now. He will not get arrested.
No one will bother him. Our kids can't pray in public, I think, refers to public school. Because he needs his kids praying 24/7 because he's so fucked up. What a fucking douchebag. Our kids can't pray in public. Yeah, all your rights have been stripped, you asshole. What right have you been denied? He's been denied no rights. His rights to pray in public. What the fuck's he talking about? I hate that kid.
I hated him before this.
Yeah, that kid's a dick.
They can no longer freely open a Bible in school.
Oh, gee, good. That's been for a really long time, asswipe.
How about opening a science book in school?
Yeah, all day long when you're in school, learn math. Go home, read the fucking Bible to your kid all day, you cunt.
The 10 Commandments are no longer allowed to be displayed in public places.
Oh, jeez, is that a... You know what? That's really stopping me from growing as a human being. Look what this guy's concerned about. Isn't it weird with religious people? They find the way for themselves, and God bless them. I think it's fantastic. But for some reason, you've got to be exposed to all their bullshit. Like, it's really important to him to get you involved in this.
Yeah.
You know what? I went to school. You couldn't eat in class either.
And the Gideons are not even allowed to give away Bibles in schools.
Oh, you're kidding. Gee, I guess he forgot why the country was developed the way it was. There was no religious freedom. Now we have religious freedom, but we try to keep the public schools free of that horse shit. You imagine if they can't deliver Bibles to the public schools. Wah, 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 wah. Go to a hotel and read one of their Bibles.
Did you know that a recent study revealed that in the top 50 universities in our country, in the fields of psychology and biology, 61% of the professors describe themselves as atheists or agnostics?
And exactly how does that impact your life if they don't believe what you believe?
That's 61%. No wonder atheism has doubled.
Wow. That's 61%. Besides being the world's worst reader, this Kirk Cameron. I mean, he's so reading, you know. He's so full of shit.
Well, don't you want to learn everything from a TV actor?
Yeah.
A child star?
Yeah.
A former TV actor.
In the last 20 years...
I'm really glad 64% are atheists. I'm worried about the other 39% or whatever it is that are kooks teaching. 36%, whatever it was.
Among 19 to 25-year-olds. An entire generation is being brainwashed by atheistic evolution without even hearing the alternative. And it's radically changing the culture of our nation. There's only one way to change the heart of a nation, and that is to change the sinful heart of the individual. And that's through the power of the gospel. Only God can take the sinful heart of a man or a woman and cause them to love that which is right and just.
Only God can do that?
Good.
Only God can make someone a moral person? That's the only way?
Well, in his mind, you know, he was such a mess. It took God.
I guess.
Was he a mess?
I don't
know. He sounds like a guy who needed somebody to tell him what was right and wrong.
Right.
I love this kid. He's just all over the place. It's really important to him that you believe what he believes.
Now listen to this.
Now this is the gospel.
Now it's going to get fun. I think he's trying to be youthful and fun with his gospel.
Now listen to this.
Wait, you're about to hear something fantastic. Now listen to this.
Now listen to this. On November 21st, 2009.
Go ahead.
The world will celebrate the 150th year since the publication of Charles Darwin's book, Origin of Species. Now, when my friend Ray Comfort heard about it...
Imagine this kid's so fucked up, he's still fighting the good fight that Darwin's theories are wrong.
And what does he pit against? You know, his great intellect is against Darwin's.
Yeah, I mean, because, let's see, Darwin, brilliant philosopher, thinker, scientist, versus Kirk Cameron, who was on Growing Pains, who worked with Alan Thicke.
Darwin worked with Alan Thicke, I think.
Imagine the arrogance of taking on an argument where you're arguing with Darwin.
You know, I've always said, some people are so stupid they don't know how stupid they are. This is one of those people.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go argue the theory of relativity with Einstein.
Next, I challenge Louis Pasteur.
Yeah, right after I get off the air.
Now, listen to this, Einstein.
And that the book was public domain, he actually wrote a 50-page introduction for the book, which gives the history of evolution, a timeline of Darwin's life, Adolf Hitler's undeniable connection with the theory, Darwin's racism, his disdain for women, and Darwin's thoughts on the existence of God, and put them in the book.
Again, I just have to ask you, why is it so important that Kirk Cameron convert all of us to his way of thinking? Okay, so I believe in Darwinism and evolution, and he doesn't, and he's found great comfort in whatever it is he believes. I don't understand why it's so important for me to believe. Like, go do your thing, dude.
Well, I understand from the standpoint of, if it gave something to you that you think is so wonderful, wanting to pass it on to your friends and loved ones. Mm-hmm. But when you start arguing Darwinism from, and
you're the kid from a sitcom.
That background.
Yeah.
And I question it.
And we're working with Campus Crusade for Christ, Answers in Genesis, and the Alliance Defense Fund to get copies of Darwin.
He's got like 5 guys he's working with. Campus Crusade, People for Christ. Mm-hmm. Gee, wouldn't it be great in a world full of Kirk Camerons where we all believe everything Kirk Cameron believes? Wouldn't that be great?
That's what he's going for.
Yeah, if we could just all get on board, this would be so easy.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if we were all just droids?
Yeah, listen to this crap. I hate science. I always hated science in school. This is so much easier. Just God created everything, and nothing. There was no evolution, and you know what? Who needs a vaccine when you have God?
If you're sick, pray.
Right. It's like George Bush said. I'm going to pray.
How about an antibiotic? No.
No. I'm going to pray. That's his solution. He was going to pray. We had a religious president. Guy who believed he talked it over with Jesus, and Jesus told him it was a good thing to invade Iraq. That's what he said. Kirk Cameron must have been very pleased with that.
I really hope Jesus didn't make that decision.
No, he said Jesus advised him. Jesus was his advisor.
They asked if he called his father, and he said, no, I didn't want to speak to my dad. I spoke to Jesus.
Oh, my God.
So, in other words, he admitted to speaking to his imaginary friend. Yeah. I guess he was half in the bottle.
He's blaming Jesus.
Jesus, what do I do? What? Oh, Iraq, right.
I hear you.
I hear you, man.
I hear you.
I was on the fence about it, but you've convinced me.
And we'll win Origin of Species into the hands of this generation. And all we want to do...
I like he's trying to make everything so simple. All we want to do...
is to present the opposing and correct view, rather than being censored, which is...
Censored. Yeah, it's a religious view, and religious views aren't taught in public schools as the gospel. Sorry. We don't want that. That's why we had this country, so we wouldn't get caught up in that horse shit.
I love the opposing and correct view.
And the opposing and correct view...
Why would they be pushing the incorrect view?
The opposing and correct view is taught in religious schools everywhere, where you have the right to send your kid if you want to expose them to that. And then you can have the right view, too.
And it's not like you can walk very far without stumbling over a church.
No. Well, his problem is he feels that everything should go down in the public school. And why don't we teach...
that's where you're captive. You have to actually walk into the church.
And then what's he going to do when we start teaching Scientology and everything else to the kids? Is he going to have a problem with that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Because their views might not be right to him.
Oh, forget Scientology. He doesn't want you even teaching Catholicism.
Right.
He wants you teaching what he believes.
And how about that Indian religion where they worship that cow? And that elephant with the 15 arms.
They worshipped a turtle yesterday.
Ganesh. And, yeah, like, are we going to teach that opposing view?
How
That's
about
correct?
sea turtle? God is a sea turtle.
See, Kirk, a lot of these opposing views are correct to certain people. That's the problem.
Now you guys are being ridiculous.
Kirk Cameron gets his way. I want you to bow to my turtle, Ganesh. Your turtle? That's right. You must pray to a turtle. Why are people not doing the correct and right thing?
I'm stepping on God's tail.
God, is this kid stupid? I mean, like, just totally missing the boat. But I guess it's kind of good for him career-wise. He's got nothing, so he's now on some sort of presentation about religion, and I guess it gives him something to do. And I think he gets on a lot of these religious programs.
Well, he became some kind of a minister. Yeah.
I think he's trying to get his own thing going, get some dough. I don't know how he makes money.
He doesn't need to. He made tons of money from that TV show that set him up for life.
A lot of free time, huh?
And he didn't have drugs and women and gambling to spend it on.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, how you doing?
Jeff in Cincinnati.
I love you guys. I've listened to you for years. I mean, I enjoy the show, but there's times when I have to change the channel. Like when you guys start, pushing the religious and the politics.
I'm not pushing any religion. I'm saying, why does this kid feel it's so important for him to get religion in the schools? Go put your kid in any religious program you want. Who's stopping him?
Well, I understand that. Okay, but, you got however many millions of people listening to you. You from time to time give your agenda and you give your beliefs. And basically it's we can accept what you're saying or we can deny it.
Right.
So why can't he say what he wants to say?
Oh, he can say what he wants. I'm just saying he's retarded. I mean, he's a retard. Because what he's saying makes no sense to me. So I'm pointing out that he's a retard.
Okay.
You might disagree. You might think it'd be great if we just start teaching religion in public schools. And by the way, not just Jesus Christ, but every fucking religion out there with every fucking wacko thought that everybody has.
And I understand that. And you're
And religion isn't based in science. It's based in faith. And that's not what this country's built on.
Right. But if he wants to believe what he wants to believe, which I tend to go that direction.
Yeah.
He believes too. Okay.
Oh, good.
Why are we considered retarded for believing that?
I didn't say you're retarded for believing. I said you're retarded for thinking that it should be taught in the public schools and that I should have to fucking that somehow his views are right. He's saying what they're teaching in the schools is wrong. Okay, to him.
Right.
But nevertheless, he wants your kid to go to school and believe what for some reason he has this agenda where I have to believe what he believes. And my kids have to believe what he believes. And my kids need to be exposed to it. Fuck them. I'll go where I want to go and learn that shit.
Right. And I agree that you don't have to believe. But
Jeff, you're being silly. Turn off the channel. You're right. This isn't for you. This guy. Come back when I got a girl on a Sibian.
Can I ask you one last question?
Yeah.
One last push question. Okay. If he's right and you're wrong,
right.
Or you're right and he's wrong. Okay, if you're right and we die and there is no heaven, there is no hell, and we just sit in the ground and we turn back into worm dirt, okay? If you're right, then we have nothing to lose. We go into the ground and that's it. But you ever think, what if he's right? What if we're right? What if there is a heaven, there is a hell?
So what? So what's that got to do with anything? So go learn it anywhere you want, not in public school. This kid wants to fucking teach his religion in public school. It doesn't matter to anybody.
Well, I don't understand why it's such a...
There's a million religions out there. What part of this don't you understand? In this country, you are free to teach any religion you want in any religious school. Did you know that?
Right, I agree.
Your rights haven't been taken away religiously. You have every right to go to a mosque, a temple, a church, a Scientology, whatever they got, whatever some asshole dreams up that you should believe in and he can charge you for it, you have the right to go practice that. Public school isn't for that. That's for the taxpayers' money so that all the children can get an education in basic things like math and science. And yes, evolution is taught, and everything that is the opposite of evolution is taught in these churches. And you have the right to send your kid there. What's the problem? What's he yapping about? He wants to set up in the schools his beliefs. He go fuck himself.
Why can't they teach the Christianity in school? They can teach...
they do. It's called Catholic school. What part don't you get?
No, because that's Catholicism. There's a difference between...
Well, then go to whatever branch you believe in, go to that school.
All right, well, I'm just saying, though, there's...
What about the satanic viewpoint? Do you have a problem with people who are Satanists? Do you mind your kids learning the words of Satan?
No, I don't want my kids learning that.
You don't want to? Why? Why can't they learn Satanism? I mean, why should Satanists think they're right? Don't you get my point?
I'm not saying that I'm right.
There's no one right view. Kirk Cameron is not got the right view just because you believe it.
Right. Well, I mean,
okay, Jeff, thank you. Listen, I can't argue with retards all day.
He's still not getting the point that, you know, if you start teaching Christianity in school, you then are offending the parents of Muslims, right? Hindus, whatever else there is out there.
The good niece.
They're going to say, well, why can't you teach our religion in the school?
Yes, an elephant with 8 arms. Why not? Or that we were invaded by Martians, like the Scientologists believe, and then we were descendants of aliens. You got to teach. What's with people? I believe in lots of religious things and have lots of sort of spiritual beliefs. I'm not looking for anybody to learn them in public school. They're fucking ridiculous.
Exactly the case at present. These students aren't stupid. They should be given both sides of the argument and allowed...
Like there's only 2 sides to the argument. There's 20,000 arguments. There is no arguments. Right. This is ridiculous. Ay, ay, ay. Why is it so important to this kid? What do you think's going to happen?
Because it's his job to recruit. Part of that whole Christian thing is that you must bring in others.
I believe 4 + 4 is 7.
Yeah, I guess you get a higher place in heaven.
Let's teach that.
You get a higher place in heaven depending on how many people you recruit.
Oh, it's like it's like Amway.
Amway,
right.
Yes.
You get more
pyramid.
Money. Right. You're cashing in for the afterlife.
You get a distributorship.
Yeah. How about living for this life? Stop worrying so much about the afterlife. When you get to the afterlife, worry about it then. Why would there be a God who's worried about you, believing in him? Like, if you don't believe in him, you go to hell.
Sounds pretty insecure. Yeah. Sounds like he's got an ego problem.
Yeah, I mean, let's say I'm stupid and I don't understand the concept of God. And I don't have that belief. I wasn't raised with that. So you mean God's going to punish me because I'm a moron and I didn't believe? I mean, does that make any sense to you? God's going to punish me? How about in this life being a really good person, doing really wonderful things for people and not harming anyone? And then when you die...
you think it's right.
Yeah, and then when you die and you go to the heaven, why don't we teach in the school that you get laid by 70 virgins when you go to heaven? That's stupid, right? Why would we teach that? But this guy's advocating every religion should have a place in public school. Ridiculous. But I mean, it's just funny. Yeah, hey, Jeff, you're on the air.
Hey, now, how's everybody doing?
Hey, now.
I know why he's so happy. Have you seen his wife?
Yeah, she's super hot. She was I think she was one of the guest stars on...
Definitely was.
Yeah, on...
Yeah, and she did the Apple of My Cheeks commercial back then. I mean, she is just really good looking.
Is she still hot?
Yeah, from what I look, because I periodically kind of Google what she looks like, because back then she was my favorite.
You know who's still hot? I was looking at a picture of her today. John Travolta... And
Kelly Preston is amazing.
John Travolta and his daughter, his son died. His daughter and Kelly Preston are in some sort of movie together. And Kelly Preston's standing there taking pictures. Boy, she still looks good, man.
And she's been around a long time.
I've beaten off to her many a time.
She's in one of Mr. Skin's top 10 nude scenes of all time.
Yeah.
I forget what she does. It takes place in the 50s, and she gets naked, but she's got a smoking hot body.
Some guy told me years ago, some Hollywood insider guy said that sometimes she's up for doing lesbian stuff. And I'm sure it's all horseshit.
What?
That's what he said. He said, oh, yeah, I know her. She's up for lesbian stuff. I said, she is? That's even hotter. But I don't know if it's true.
That's how she stays young.
Everyone in Hollywood seems to know somebody who's up for lesbian stuff.
Robin, you look pretty good for your age.
What? What are you trying to say?
What?
No, we were just talking about Kirk Cameron in the back office. I just wanted to remind you, when he was on that show, I think he had one of the girls fired from the show because she was in Playboy.
Definitely,
But then towards the end of the show, he wouldn't do any scenes where he was alone in his room with a girl because he felt it was sending out a bad message.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I remember all that.
Yeah. Remember, because he was the heartthrob, and he was supposed to be dating all these girls, and then he had all these reservations about how he was depicted because he was a role model.
That's some role model.
It's great for the producers to hear.
You're great.
Yeah, we got this franchise here that we could, just blow away, and he won't go along with the program.
Too bad it's not like Marilyn Munster, where you just easily replace the kid and bring in a new hot kid who doesn't have his religious views, interrupting the script development, because he can't pretend to like a girl on camera.
Casting call for hot guys who hate the Bible.
Yeah.
You know who got a start on that show was Leonardo DiCaprio. He must hate him.
What else you got?
Plus, Kirk Cameron's religious crusade pisses Howard off.
What an asshole. Honestly. Go ahead.
Howard marvels
Kirk Cameron. He's a kid from, what's that show?
Growing Pains.
Growing Pains. He's telling people that his freedoms are being taken away because his kids can't learn about the Bible in school. What a fucking imbecile. You really get the concept of the Constitution. A kid from Growing Pains is telling you what's going on. It's insulting. Your freedoms are being taken away. Do you know Gideon's Bible can't even be distributed in public schools? Yeah, we know that. It's because of the Constitution, you dumb fuck. Go to another country. Get out of my world. I hate you. I hate Kirk Cameron. More than that Amanda Peet.
Oh, really?
You hate someone more than Amanda Peet?
Yeah.
Kirk Cameron more than Amanda Peet.
I hate Kirk Cameron. I hate my Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron is a flaming asshole. Kirk Cameron is a one big douchebag. I wish he'd just jump into a fucking hole. Although he's hotter than her.
Come on.
Yeah. I'd rather do him.
I like the anger.
Thank you. No, but can you imagine this guy? You're not going to believe this, but evolution is the only thing being taught in schools. They don't even want to hear the other side.
The correct side.
They don't even want to hear the truth. Can you believe it? What a dummy. Can you believe they don't teach, Christianity in the schools? Yeah, we can believe it. It's called... We fought the American Revolution so that wouldn't happen.
Well, actually, people just immigrated here for that reason.
Yeah, well, whatever. I'm on a roll.
Yeah, but think about what people did. It was back then, like, there were no motorboats.
No, I'm just saying, it wasn't the revolution.
It's just such a retarded conversation he's having with no one. Can you believe they only teach the 26-letter alphabet in regular schools? What about the letters I made up? They won't teach them.
And listen to this.
And listen to this. We were listening to this thing. Our mouths were open. I invented a letter called double K Doodle, and they won't teach it in the schools. Can you believe this?
What about the letter Akkel?
They won't teach Klingon in the schools. I've had it.
There's a 27th letter, and they won't let me introduce it.
Double K Doodle.
Are you concerned about what's happening to our country?
Yes.
One by one, we're being stripped of our God-given liberties.
They should strip him and fucking tie him to a stake.
Our kids can no longer pray in public. They can no longer...
They can pray in public.
Where can't you pray? In public. He means public school.
I pass by some jerk-off kid praying every day.
Our kids can't pray in public. We got to have him on, that fuck. Just fucking hold me back.
Freely open a Bible in school.
You can't freely open a Bible anymore in school. No. You can go after school and open any Bible. Can you imagine if, according to him, every school would be filled with every religious dumb thought? Like Scientology, Judaism, Christianity, the other with Mecca where they pray to the sun, Satanism. We would have to include all religions, and who would care?
You'd have 50 billion Bibles floating around.
Can you believe our kids can't milk cows in class?
And why should you be able to flip open the Bible in science class? If I'm teaching you biology. Why are you flipping open the Bible?
And in your study period, you could actually open a Bible and read it.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's like, you can't flip it open. The only time you can't flip anything open is when you're in class and you're supposed to be looking at your textbook.
The 10 Commandments are no longer allowed to be displayed in public places, and the Gideons are not even allowed to give away Bibles in schools.
Oh, the Gideons.
Again, you can display the 10 Commandments anywhere but on government property.
Right. It's bothering him. I like that, he thinks that his mission in life, think about his whole mission in life. He's not an actor anymore, I guess.
Well, that's why he got religion.
Yeah. His mission in life is to, everything he believes, you should believe. Right.
You know what? There are Gideon Bibles in every hotel room in this country.
Feel free.
And can you imagine what's happening in those hotel rooms? Right where those Gideon Bibles
The devil lives in hotel rooms.
What did Rocky Raccoon find? Gideon's Bible.
Did you know that a recent study revealed that in the top 50 universities in our country, in the field...
All right, go ahead. Anyway, you go ahead. You got me all riled up. Yeah, and I got to get on with the show.
Howard marvels at Kid Kelly's top 40 talent. Ronnie...
I put a link to that on howardstern.com because I couldn't believe this fucking guy.